Okay, so today we're going to be tucking the harness on S13. And the reason for that is when you're running wider wheels and tires, or just bigger wheels and tires, you're going to end up rubbing through the harness over here. What that's going to do is just going to short out the car, because those wires are going to start touching each other. So what we're going to do is take off this harness. Now usually, this one's already been tucked a little. Usually it's under here, but you're going to want to unclip this harness. And then what we're going to do is we're going to notch over here. And then we're going to tuck this harness all the way up above here, so that way when you put your fender on, it sits under the fender, and then it's also protected by this metal lid, so that way you have metal in between the wires and then your wheel. Alright, so first step you're going to want to do is remove the fender. To remove the fender, it's, what does it have, three bolts on this side, or on that side there's 4. And once you do that, then there's a couple more holding it onto the bumper, which connects the bumper to the fender. You're going to want to unscrew those. These are basically all 10 mils. Then there's 2 attaching it to where the door is. So you got to open your door and then unscrew those as well. And after that, your fender should come off, and you got this. So this is the harness right here under the car. As you can see, the tire basically rubbed through it. Okay, so the fender's removed. We can go ahead and just start unclipping stuff. They're basically just all zip ties. I'm pretty sure on the stock one, the stock location too, it's like that. And this is kept in with the cable. I'm just gonna leave this one. Nah, I'm gonna cut it. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it. Okay, now you also want to get rid of this sheeting right here. Alright, now we're just going to clean all this off. Okay, so now those are taped up. I'm going to go ahead and then we're going to start rewrapping this electrical tape all the way through, just to keep everything back in together. If you want, you can just take off the old factory tape too if you don't like that. This one was still okay, so I left it there. Same as over here. But I'm just going to start wrapping, then stop, and then I'll start from right here, and go again all the way until about right there. And then after that, this will be one uniform wire, and then we can start the actual tuck, which would be notching over here. Okay, so now that we wrapped it and it's looking nice and fresh and clean again, the basic tuck is that we're gonna cut from here over to about halfway through this whole area, so that way this portion of the harness can fit up over here. Then once it's fit up over there, the whole harness is going to tuck up above like so. And you tie it up over here using zip ties. So as you can see, whenever the wheel comes up, if it even comes up this high, it's going to hit over here on the metal instead of your harness. And this is all tucked up, and it's going to be flush right here with the fender. So all we got to do is just notch this, so that way the harness can be moved and brought up. Okay? Okay, so now where we're gonna notch, I was gonna do it over here, but I switched my mind because every harness is gonna be different. But if this is tucked up real nice, it ends up coming up more over here. That's when it actually makes the pass from the under this area to above the metal. So what I'm going to do is, instead of cutting it, notching it over here, which would be really hard to fit this harness, I'm going to notch it about right here to here, and then should fold up really nice over there. If you have an angle grinder with the cutoff wheel, I just use that, but I don't have one, so I'm just going to be using this. I was going to use my Dremel, but you know how Dremels are when you're going like sideways with the thing, it makes it like sideways curve. So I'm just going to be doing this because it's more precise. First cut. Second cut. Now the third cut is going to connect the first cut and the second cut together. I'm just going to be doing that with the Dremel because this one I can actually reach there, so it'll be a nice clean cut all the way through. And once I do that, this piece will be able to be removed, and then I can go ahead and tuck the harness. Alright, here it is. It's actually pretty heavy, dude. So this is that one piece that we took out right now. So, okay, so even with this chopped right now, the harness, it's not gonna place in there. It'll place in the front, I can tell, but over here it still needs to be chopped back. So what I'm gonna do is gonna chop it to right here. So cut and cut, and then this harness will hopefully fit. Okay, so now this is cut. The harness fits. Beautiful right there. So now, to prevent it from cutting the harness whenever the car is moving, it's a lot of vibration, I'm just going to take a file and then sand down all the sides, all these corners over here, and make sure to get the bottom parts over here too, because that'll also cut it. So that's our next part. Okay, so this has all been test fitted and it fits nice. I taped the other wire that was here to the harness, so that way it doesn't dangle down. Then back here, there were some rough spots which were sharp and they were cutting into the harness, so I shaved all those down with a sanding bit on a Dremel. So there's there, around there, right there. And I also made sure, after even filing, I sanded it down with a Dremel bit as well, all these edges. Now they're really smooth. If you live in an area where, let's say there's snow and stuff, and you're worried about rust, then I would cover these up with some touch-up paint. So I have some touch-up paint that's actually silver. So I'm going to be touching up all these. Even though I don't live in an area that snow or really rust is a problem, I'm still just going to do these anyways, just to prevent anything. That way I don't have to come back here and touch it up again. Okay, so there we go. Now all you gotta do is bolt up this fender and you're done. And then on that side, basically the same exact process, just notch and tuck it, you're good to go.
No, I'm taking this stuff off the floor so I can do it.
Sexy AF.